We have to talk about it, right? The Giants went into Seattle, and let's be honest, they dominated the fucking game, right? Let's talk about it. The Giants dominated the game in all facets. Time of possession, moving the ball, yards. Listen, screw it. Sometimes credit gotta be given even if you hate a guy. I see fans out there having a hard time being happy. Daniel Jones lit Seattle up, bottom line. And Daniel Jones is ranked in the top 10. And he continues to get the hate. And I believe he's finally learned how to use that as fuel. Something I've done my whole life, brothers. Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is delivering in the last 4 weeks, winning football. The Giants should be 4-1, if not at least 3-2. They lost to Washington because they didn't have a kicker. If they had this kicker right now in Washington, that was a win. The Giants held the Washington Commanders, who have scored 30-plus points in each of the last 3 games. Credit to Jayden Daniels, who has ignited that Washington franchise. And I like the kid. He's good. 30-plus points in 3 straight games. They only had 7 field goals and never crossed the goal line at home against this Giants defense, which is emerging as one of the top defenses in football. Shh, don't tell nobody. People don't like hearing that. The Giants defense, led by the best defender in the NFL right now, and it's undisputed. You can hate all you want. Dexter Lawrence is a monster. That man is wrecking football games. Now, the Giants only have 2 wins. They should have 4, but they have 2. They're 2-3. They went into Seattle, they dominated, and they locked down Seattle. By the way, did anybody see Metcalf yesterday? Except for at the end of the game when he made his way out of his way across the field to give Daniel Jones a hug, and he whispered something in his ear. And I gotta say, it probably went something like this. Brother, I respect you for what you've gone through, for facing all the adversity and hate and overcoming, and I wouldn't mind being your wide receiver. Yeah? Did anyone see Metcalf on the field yesterday? No. You want to know why? Because Banks locked the bank account on him. Metcalf was a shadow all day. The Giants' front caused havoc, especially in the second half. Dexter Lawrence with 3 sacks. My God. 6 sacks on the season. That guy is a beast in the NFL. The Giants' D is growing. The rookies on this team that people hated, I wanted to talk about. 2 weeks ago, you had a portion of this fan base had Joe Shane fired, and I laughed. Yo, people got to get this in their fucking head, right? Joe Shane and Brian Daboll, this regime, they're going nowhere. They're going to be here for a long time. They're building their roster. They're building their team. We'll revisit the quarterback situation at the end of the year. There are quarterbacks coming, but yo, I ain't about that anymore. I told everybody, 1 more week, 1 more week, 1 more week. Let's see if the kids grow. Let's see if the team gets better. Let's see if the Giants start winning games. They won a big game in Seattle, in a place that's hostile, one of the loudest stadiums in the country, an extremely hard place to go into. And you'll see that this Thursday when the 49ers go there. They went in there and they dominated the football game. Don't be fooled by the score, because a touchdown was taken away on the opening drive of the game when the Giants went 16 damn plays down the field, 10 minutes, 1 second, and the ball broke the nose of that goal line and the refs refused to go see it on the replay. So 16 plays, 10 minutes and 1 second, touchdown for Seattle. The 7 went to Seattle instead of the Giants. And the young kids, T.O. Johnson. We got ourselves a real running back in Tracy. That man runs north. He doesn't go east. He doesn't go west. He doesn't dance. Straight through the fucking hole, straight north. 130 yards for Tracy, the rookie. He showed up big time. T.O. Johnson, 50 yards on 5 reception? He showed up. Wandell showed up. Slayton had a big game like a veteran, like we expect him to. And the drops got to stop. But I'm not going to harp on that today. Nubin, safety. Emerging as a real safety. We knew that when we drafted him, right? Come on, brothers. Phillips, corner. Frott, corner. Growing. Getting stronger and better. Injuries in the secondary. What did the Giants defensive coach do? Finds a way to cover it up. Next man up. No. We already know about McFadden and Okereke, right? Schmitz, center. I mean, this guy's playing like one of the better centers in football, just like we expected when we drafted him. I've been saying this for weeks. Sit back and have patience and let this regime cook. Brian Dable's a hell of a coach. We don't need to get rid of him. You don't need to jump the gun. We don't need to change regimes every 3 years because instability gives you garbage. Right now, the Giants won a monster game and their young kids are growing and playing better football every week. Like they are contributing to the way the Giants are playing. And it's not like the Giants have been ass. The Giants have gotten beaten bad in one game this year that was against the Vikings, who are 5-0. But in every other game this year, you make a case the Giants beat themselves. They should have won every game. And they went to Cleveland and won a big game. They went to Seattle and took a game nobody gave us a shot at, where we were dogs by 7.5 points. And the biggest thing I loved is that this coaching staff came with a hell of a game plan. The team was prepared for a big-time football game in an extremely hostile environment, and they overcame adversity early, where the Giants went on a 16-play, 10-minute drive that's supposed to break the other team's back, and Seattle picked up a ball that broke the goal line, and the refs either didn't see it or played stupid and allowed Seattle to go 102 yards the other way for a touchdown. That could break a young team. But the Giants came right back down the field. Daniel Jones fucking bank, led them down the field for a touchdown, an answering drive, and the Giants never looked back. The Giants should have won this game 36-13. But that stupid nonsense play on the goal line early kept Seattle in this game. But in every other facet of this game, the Giants dominated Seattle in every single facet, including special teams with this field goal kicker who's been lights out. And the block by Simmons when he hopped over the line looking like a kangaroo and robbed that ball right out of the kicker's foot, right out of the air, going the other way for 7. That was God giving you your 7 back that you deserved on the opening drive of the game. Ain't it funny, baby, how shit works? Yo, be happy as a fan base, because I'm going to tell you right now, the Giants are coming home, and the Giants are going to beat Cincinnati Sunday night. This young team's getting better, they're growing, and the most dangerous thing of all, they have confidence. They're gaining confidence. They're gaining steam. And Daniel Jones, for the first time in 6 years, looks like the leader of this football team. He looks confident and he's sharp. He's sharp and poised. And I tell you what, later in the year when teams start to stack the front on our slants and screens, that's when you're going to see the Giants go deep over the top to Neighbors, to Slayton. This defense is playing like a top 5D in football. I expect to beat Cincinnati Sunday night at home. The next 3 games are at home. Cincinnati, Eagles, Washington. I'm going to tell you right now, we could afford 1 loss in the 3. The hard game will be the Eagle game, but even they don't look right. Go beat Cincinnati. Get to 3-3. Whatever happens in the Eagle game. And then you fucking got a big game with Washington, which we all know payback is a-coming. That game's in our house. Washington's riding high right now, but this Giants defense, boy, they are up for the task. They're not going to forget that Washington stole one that we handed over to them a few weeks ago. And then you go to Germany to play a Carolina team that's just plain simple bad and headed for the first pick in the draft. The Giants could be 5-4, and I want to know about the fan base that was dreaming of going 2-15 for their quarterback. Yo, fuck all that. I'll worry about the next quarterback in April. If this regime wants to draft one or they don't, I believe in this regime. I've never stopped believing in this regime. I've fought people on Brian Daboll is the coach you want here. I've fought people, and Joe Schoen has a plan and he's building a roster. Let these guys cook. Mara gave them 5 years. Give them their 5 years. I ain't looking to change shit. The only team that's going to change shit in New York is the team across town, the Jets, who had Super Bowl aspirations and dreams in August like they always do. Rodgers ain't living up. He's getting older by the day. And there's a lot of finger pointing over there. The Giants are building. They're getting better. They're not a Super Bowl team, obviously, but they got a young roster with another big draft coming next year and $100 million in cap space. The Giants have a direction, and that's what I wanted to see this year. Growth, direction, and I'm seeing it little by little. And we got a lot of games left. And I still think the Giants are going to give us a season. And I still believe the Giants are going to give you meaningful football in the last 2 weeks of the season. And there's no reason not to believe so. Young team led by a veteran that a lot of people hate and they don't believe in. And that's fine. Maybe he uses that as fire. Daniel Jones. I love the growth. I see a direction. And we're young. And I'm going to let this GM keep bringing in his rookies that are totally contributing. And you got to have patience. I've preached patience. And I know after 9 or 10 years of losing, it's very hard to even hear that word. I get it, man. It's hard for me too. But a game like yesterday buys these guys patience and more time. You sit back, let the team grow, because growth, patience equals stability, and stability equals championships down the road, brothers. And I'm a believer in Daboll and Schoen. And if Daniel Jones balls out the rest of the year like he has the last 4 weeks, Daniel Jones has given you his most consistent football of his career. And I'm going to sit back and let this kid play all year, brothers. Patience. Stability. You ain't a championship team. You may not even be a playoff team. You might be playing in the last week of the season for a wild card. Who knows? The NFC is upside down and the big teams are struggling. And that's why we play the games. Sunday night at home, I expect 89,000 Blue fans that believe. Bring the noise, because this team earned it yesterday. Let's go beat Cincinnati. They are not impressive this year. Get to 3-3. And enjoy what might be a positive football season. And don't worry about losing out for the top pick in the draft. Let the fucking losers do that. I'm going to watch the Giants, and I'm going to root to win. Because we ain't promised tomorrow. And no quarterback is a guarantee, as we've seen many times in this league. We'll worry about April when we get to April. Let Joe Schoen and Daboll do what they're doing. That was a big-time win on the road. And it saved the Giants' season, whether you like it or not. And that's what it is. And the young kids, they are coming, brothers. Miz.